Hello and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video on my channel. I'm FPL Unit and today you are here for Game Week 16 Differentials. I'm recording this just after the West Ham versus Wolves game, and I can tell you that I am going to finish the week at about 18,300, 400 depending on what. It will probably shake out to just below 19,000, top 19,000 worldwide. So I'm pretty damn happy with that, to be fair. And look, I've been riding my luck and my wave on differentials that I've been posting about every single week. So if you want to join the good run, hopefully into the top 100,000 at a bare minimum, then you need to be paying attention to these videos because I have been nailing it more often than I haven't been. So look, without further ado, let's have a look at the kind of differentials I'm looking ahead to Game Week 16. So, look, there are different fixtures that you need to be aware of this week. Obviously, there are a couple other teams that are coming into really good runs now. So Man City, their fixture run is changing and they are versing easier teams. I would argue that they're probably versing an easier team in my team this weekend in Manchester United. They've just been, in general, we have been poor. So, look, West Ham are also, as we've seen today, when they're versing an easier teams, they do. Some of their more popular players like Mr. Jared Bowen, who got a goal and an assist, and I'd argue 3 bonus points when it shakes out. That hasn't quite been announced yet, but it looks like he's on track for 3 bonus points. These assets become really good. Now, a team that you may not be aware of that does seem to be coming into a good run of fixtures is Southampton. Now, I know that's really difficult to say, but it does look like they're coming into a better run. But I wouldn't say I'd be recommending going for any of their players. I mean, Tyler Dibling, no, I can't really recommend someone that, hasn't really done a hell of a lot. But look, if you really needed to go there, I feel like there's definitely better budget options. I know Tyler Dibling is dirt cheap, and we'll have a quick look at him later, but I just think that there's better places you can go. Now, goalkeepers, I actually think because of the fact that there's a double game week coming up and Everton's run of fixtures isn't the best, I believe that you should be, probably for that double game week, you should be targeting a Mo Salah, which is what I've already got in my team. I held him, obviously. I just put him on the bench. A lot of people played him as captain, even though it was announced well before kickoff that he wasn't going to be playing. So it just shows you how many people are not paying attention when it comes to deadline day and stuff like that. If the game's called off, there's no way it's ever going to happen. Just an FYI in general. So I actually think that the best differential is actually to have a Liverpool goalkeeper moving forward into that double game week because they are going to be versing. If it's in double, I think it's in 25, 24, 26 round there, they're going to have 2 easier teams. There could be 2 clean sheets there. So I think going for a Liverpool goalkeeper, and that is my plan. I want to get a Liverpool defender in, but if Alisson is due to return, right? So for me, I don't want to buy a Liverpool defender other than him. He's only going to cost 5.4. He's going to be the cheapest one to get in, other than a Joe Gomez. But if you think Gomez is going to stay, then that's good. But I don't know. As soon as Konate's back, if Konate's back before the end of December or the start of January, before this double game week, my idea is to have Mo Salah, Konate, and Alisson. I don't want to be spending up big, like on 6.4, 6.5 million for Van Dijk, 7 million for Trent. I just think that's a waste of money in your defence. And I don't think they're going to outperform other cheaper assets in the defence. That's just my personal opinion. You can take it, you can leave it, whatever you want. Pope and Verbruggen are the other goalkeepers we're going to be looking at. And defenders, there are a bunch. I've got some more expensive ones, some cheaper ones. Most of them are cheaper ones. I'm not a fan on spinning up big in defence. And the most expensive defender I have from my goalkeeper and my defence is Jurriën Timber, who's due to go up to 5.7 potentially tonight. So if you're watching this, you already missed the price rise potentially, but we'll see. He may not go up over price overnight. We'll just have to wait and see. Midfielders, there are a host. So obviously we've talked about the Brian and Mbeumo replacements, even though he returned. So if you kept him, you were one of 29% of people that own him that got that massive 13 points from him. But if you sold him to Bowen, you're not complaining because he also got 13 points. So, it's like swings and roundabouts. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. If you sold him for, who I did, Matoma, then you didn't get anything. But the week before, I got Jurian Timbers 14 points because of it. So, like, look, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to take the good with the bad. Bruno Fernandes, again, lots of people thinking about selling him, but he's been good. He got another 9 points on the weekend. And after the Man City game, United's fixtures don't look too bad. And if there's one player you can target in that team, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. He's the captain. He's playing every game week. He starts every game week. I don't think there's too much to worry about there. In regards to the forwards as well, there are a bunch there, and I've whacked in a few Liverpool players in the forward line only because of the fact that they do have the double game week, and I think that potentially they could get more points. That's the only reason why they're in there. If it wasn't for the fact that the double game week was not coming up, they wouldn't be in there. Well, Nunes definitely wouldn't be in there. Gapco might. Look, Jota would be in there as well, but he's not fit yet. But I feel like he might be fit for that. But until he is, well, he can't make this list. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the fixture difficulty rating. So you can actually see what I'm using here in order to make these videos up. So look, as you can see there, the Arsenal run is looking really good, especially in the next 3 weeks. There's every reason to double up on their defence. I understand doubling up on their defence for the next 3 weeks. I can't see them conceding a goal against any of those teams. They probably will now they've said that. But, like, it looks pretty damn safe. Like, my line, I was like going, I can actually swap Matoma this week for Enzo Fernandez and get rid of Colwill to bring in a Saliba or a Gabriel if he's fit. So, look, it's a move I might do. It's not really a differential. I'm just highlighting what I might do moving forward. Bournemouth, as you can see there, still on a really good, nice run. West Ham at home this week. They're not in the best form. They did beat Wolves just then, but like Wolves are just... I think Gary O'Neill could be on the outer this week. He might be gone by the end of tomorrow. Brighton, they look good. They've been fine. Defensively, they've just been poor, but hopefully they keep some clean sheets in the next 3. Like 2 games at home. The Leicester game was frustrating. 2-0 up into the 80th minute, and then they concede twice. Like, it's just frustrating. Being a Verbruggen owner, that was just frustrating. Chelsea's run from here, all lines are green. Like, all lines are green. Every reason to invest in their players. Nicholas Jackson looks amazing. So does Cole Palmer. And then it's just a matter of what you want to do with a third player. I am looking at getting rid of Colwill for Enzo Fernandez. It just depends on whether I do it this week or next. Enzo Fernandez is likely to rise potentially tomorrow or tonight, which might force my hand because I don't like missing out on price rises. Crystal Palace, if you can hold their assets for a couple more weeks, they do turn around. Everton, I said, horrible run coming up. Want to move them on. Fulham, if you can hold the next 3 weeks, they're looking all right. Ipswich, nah. So Liverpool, as you can see there, other than the Tottenham game, it's an amazing run. It's very similar to Arsenal's run. You could definitely invest in that team. Man City, is, as I talked about, other than Man United and Villa away, it does really open up for them post that. So that's something to keep in mind there. The rest, interesting. I mean, Nottingham Forest, not good defensively, but Chris Wood potentially, if you've held him this long, I think there's a reason to now hold him and keep him, just based on the fact that the fixtures, attacking-wise, I think do open up from here. And the Villa and Brentford and Tottenham haven't been very good defensively, so Chris Wood actually might be all right. He could have actually been a long-term hold because he's actually performed more than he's not performed. West Ham obviously got those 3 games, but then they got Liverpool, Man City. That's difficult. The Wolves fixtures, I mean, Mateus Cunha, I actually have done well to get rid of him. I got rid of him on wildcard in game week 12. Other than missing out on the big 16 points he got in game week 12, he's done nothing since. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he's gone 4 game weeks blank. We'll have a look in a second. But yeah, that's where we are. Now, quickly over to Fantasy Football Hub. As you can see there, I am on, for game week 15, 18,241 it reckons. That's with all the games played. Aït-Nouri came up with an assist. Finally, did someone other than get 0 points because I saw they'd conceded twice and I was like, oh, Aït-Nouri got assist. That's better than I was expecting. So like, not bad. The only thing I should have done is probably played Fabianski over Verbruggen, or would have been 1 point better off. But other than that, can't complain. It's been a pretty damn good week in regards to that. All right, now, on to the differentials for this week. So Verbruggen, look, his numbers aren't bad. He just doesn't make any saves. Like, the last few weeks, he's made 1 save in the last 3 game weeks. That's just... I think that just kind of tells you the kind of shots they've been given up. It's just been frustrating to own him and watch him perform like this the last couple of weeks. Now, Crystal Palace don't I don't know how much they're going to offer away from home. So I'm backing him in again because it's either Fabianski against Bournemouth or Verbruggen against Crystal Palace. And I think that realistically, he should be a good differential goalkeeper. He just has not been performing. And it's really frustrating because I've had him since game week 12 and he's offered me nothing the entire time. In fact, he's only kept the 2 clean sheets all season. Brighton just look better defensively than what they're putting up. And again, it was just one of them frustrating like performances. So Nick Pope is the other one I want to talk about here. Now, he did concede four on the weekend, and it's hard to believe. But he conceded 4 goals from 1.23 expected goals conceded. I don't know what was going on. Like Brentford just made the most of the XG that they got. So. Look, but their fixtures coming up are nice. Like Leicester at home, Ipswich away. Surely they don't concede goals there. I would expect clean sheets. I will be starting Lewis Hall on my team, so I am expecting them to keep clean sheets. Villa at home, Man United away, Spurs away is a bit difficult. But then the run really opens up again with 4 really nice soft fixtures in January. So, look, I think he's definitely a goalkeeper you could go with. He is slightly more expensive. I don't know if you want to spend money on that, but there. So, look, the next one I want to talk about is Kelleher. At the moment, he is the starting goalkeeper because Alisson is still not back and fit. And, like, with the fixtures to come, they are going to have a double game week in here, probably around 25, 26, 24 at the start of February, that there is potentially a free game week there. And I think it does depend on whether Liverpool advance in the Carabao Cup or not. I'm not 100% sure on that. Or if they just qualified directly for the Champions League. If they qualify directly for the Champions League, I think that's where it's 100% going to get played. And look, Liverpool's run from here is pretty damn good for a goalkeeper. Like, if you just want to get this is their cheapest way reliably into the defence, is to get their goalkeeper. And that is definitely what I am looking at because Verbruggen, as I've just talked about, hasn't been cutting the mustard. So, look, that's what I'm going to be planning there. I'm aware I'm taking a long time to get through this, so I'm going to try and quickly get this up. Now, Alisson Becker, he is going to cost you 5.4. He's still owned by 4.7% of the comp. Like, even that's really inactive players are just waiting. He's been out for a long time. He's been out for 7 game weeks. But when he comes back in, he's going to come straight back in, and then he's a definite buy. And look, that's the bloke I am targeting. That is what I'm holding out for. And I'll probably try and get another Liverpool defender in the meantime. That's my plan at the moment. All right, so into the defenders. Lewis Hall, as I said there, he's been unlucky. Like, as I said, like a 0.57 expected goals conceded against Brentford. He actually went off before the 4th one. Like, it's just, these stats are going to change. Like, he has been putting up expected numbers for assists and that. He has been getting involved. I am expecting him to deliver. He will be starting on my team this week, and that's the best advice I can give. If I'm starting him, he must be about half decent. Jurrien Timber is still the best and cheapest way into the Arsenal defence. With the 3 fixtures coming up, I'm expecting 3 clean sheets and potentially, he's getting himself involved in the set pieces as well. So look, I'm expecting there's a potential chance for him to get another goal in there as well. So I definitely think Jurrien Timber is definitely someone you want to be looking at moving forward. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now, Colwill is in here instead of Gusto, only because of the fact I don't think Gusto's nailed on for 90 minutes. Even though I think that he should be with Reece James not there, he just doesn't seem to be. So the best 4.5 million defender for Chelsea is definitely Colwill. I mean, it's a sea of green. It's a sea of green. That's all you have to know about that. You're not buying him for attacking returns. Even though he had 0.19 expected goals against Tottenham, I would not be expecting anything other than 6 points from him over the foreseeable future. Look, everyone goes, why is Sanchez not on your goalkeeper list? Because I'm not 100% certain he's going to keep his spot. He's looked really shaky in terms of his goals. So, look, I wouldn't be expecting anything there. Now, the next one is Kukurea. Now, he has risen to 5.1, which makes him a little bit more difficult. He has been playing 90, and he has got himself a couple of assists, 2 assists in the last 3 game weeks. He is getting that expected assist and expected goal involvement up over the thing, but he was really poor defensively against Tottenham. I mean, what are the wrong boots, for God's sake? How hard can it be to roll up in the wrong boots on a wet and windy day? I've got no idea. But again, the sea of green there makes him an asset that you potentially could own in the defence moving forward. Definitely someone to keep an eye out on. Now, Kirkes, I have him in my team. I expect him to do something over the next 5 weeks before the Bournemouth run changes in game week 21, but I will be holding him through to at least then. I might even continue to hold him long term because I think that he's attacking a threat. Again, 0.12 expected assists against Ipswich. He had the assist to the assist for one of the goals. I just really like the positions he's taken up, and I think that there's every chance he might get some more attacking returns over the next few weeks, especially against West Ham, who don't look very good defensively. FYI. All right. Next up, we have Collins. Now, Brentford's run from a defensive aspect is not very good, but he continues to put up expected goal involvement numbers. So in the last 3 weeks, Leicester he had an assist, Newcastle he got a goal. This dude somehow seems to know how to get into the right spots when it comes to an attacking sense. Now, the fixtures tell you that he's not somewhere he should be going, but I would argue that Brentford have kept 1 clean sheet all season, and this dude has 47 points, which tells you he's had a lot of attacking output this season. So that's definitely something you need to keep in mind. Sorry if I'm going to sneeze. I did. All right, so that's definitely someone you want to keep in mind. 100%. I just think that he's good. Now, if you're after the real budget options, Burgess actually got himself assists for Ipswich. Now, I wouldn't be recommending going near Ipswich players, but if you're after a real cheap enabler, at 4 mil, he probably fits the bill. He does put up some expected goal involvement, 0.08 per 90, 0.03 assists per 90. And if you're after someone that really isn't a cheap enabler, you never want to play him, he wants to sit in position 5 on your defence, he's the one you go for. He is the 4 million defender. Now, if you want someone slightly more expensive, Lenny Yoro for Man United actually started. I predicted this in the Game Week 15 differential video. He played 65 minutes. He wasn't overly fantastic, but it was his first run out and his home debut. I wouldn't be buying him in before Man City, but after that, if you're after a really cheap defender and trying to move him on, I think you'll find Lenny Yoro will be starting games moving forward very shortly over a sustained period of time. And at 4.3, he is a very nice way, very cheap way into Man United's defence, which I do expect to improve moving forward. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it is going to happen at some point moving forward. Now, these guys made it in the other thing. Now, I think you do need to double up on the Liverpool defence, potentially over that double game week. Obviously, we missed the game against Everton, but Andy Robertson has been playing mainly 90 minutes, and I don't think Timisk is going to be too much of an issue. Maybe in the double game week, he plays one game and starts on the bench in the other. But look, I expect him to do really well, and he is the cheapest of the more premium Liverpool defenders. 5.9 mil. He's not going to cost you anywhere near as much as a Trent or a Van Dijk, and he still does offer that attacking threat. So his expected goal numbers for the season is 0.04 expected goals, 0.15 expected assists. That's still pretty damn good for a defender. And then the other one, obviously, as we talked about before, is Joe Gomez. Now, he does look like he potentially will be starting, 4.9 mil. You could easily swap out one of my defenders for him, and it wouldn't cost you very much. So look, again, that is a potential option into the Liverpool defence. Yeah, I expect Fulham to give him a good game at Anfield, but Liverpool's defensive numbers have been super good. And if Joe Gomez is starting and getting to 60 minutes, he's likely to get you some clean sheets there. So look, that's hard not to recommend there. All right, let's go into the midfielders for this week. So Brian Mbeumo has been really good. By the way, Iwobi is now up to fifth place in this. Hard to believe. 3.8% ownership. Iwobi, he's not making the video this week because Fulham do have that harder run of fixtures coming up, so it's hard to recommend their players moving forward. First midfielder we're going to start with, Jared Bowen, has just delivered. That is going to go up to 12 points. He must have got a yellow card. Jared Bowen did get a yellow card, and he only got 36 bonus points in the system now, or that might actually affect how many bonus points he get. Either way, it's a double-figure haul for Jared Bowen, goal and assist. And the next 3 run of fixtures are beautiful. If you can hold him through 19 and 20, he also has Fulham and Crystal Palace. So look, he is potentially someone you could hold for like the next 7 weeks. And for the next 3, he does look like a really good replacement. And the fact that he's just delivered a double-figure haul is going to be amazing for his owners. Definitely looks good. Let's put it that way. Madueke, again, the Chelsea run is really good. Now, the concern was that in 2 of the last 3 games, he started on the bench. 19 minutes against Villa, 4 minutes against Tottenham. Now, I'm not sure if he's in the Europa League squad, because if he's not in the Europa League squad like Cole Palmer, then he'll definitely be back playing 90 minutes. And for this run of fixtures, I think if he is in the team, you want him. 7% ownership. He's going to be getting involved in goals and assists there. I think there's every reason to get involved and really like that. So, yeah, that's Madueke. Now, Kluivert, I pulled him out only because of the fact that I think that, yes, he had expected goal involvement of 0.29, but his minutes, he's literally just playing 60 minutes. So unless he's getting them penalties, it's going to be hard. And for that, he's only really got the next run of 5 fixtures. I don't think he's going to be getting that many penalties. So he doesn't make the video, even though I just put him in. But there you go. So Matoma still looks really good. He's been playing almost 90 minutes. 0.14, 0.18, 0.32 expected goal involvement against Leicester. It was just, as I said, that Brighton Leicester game was just infuriating from my perspective. I was like, played all 3 of my players and they got me a combined 5 points. Just not something you want to be dealing with. But look, at home, it's hard not to think that he's going to deliver points in the next 3 weeks with the fixtures they've got. So look, I think he's definitely, he's someone I think I should be holding. Let's just put it that way. Morgan Rogers has been right. Damsgaard's been right. Kulusevski, I just want to talk about him. He is a cheap way into Tottenham's midfield, and he has been playing super well. From an FPL perspective, he sometimes is hit and miss, but when Tottenham are on, he's normally on. And with Southampton up next, right in front of you, if you want a Tottenham player and you don't want to be breaking the bank for him, Kulusevski is your man. 6.3 mil. That's the only reason why he's in here. I don't really like Tottenham assets in general. They're just too up and down. You don't know what they're going to get. I mean, they could very well lose to Southampton. So, yeah, just take that with a pinch of salt, really. That's the best way to describe it. Now, Semenyo's been unlucky to miss out in this video, only because of the fact that he was playing like right back in this game against Ipswich, even though he still had 0.27 expected goal involvement. He's free to play in the next 5 weeks, so there's every reason he will return, especially against some of these weaker teams. Everton, Palace and West Ham all going to Bournemouth. I think there's points to be had there. So, look, he's still a really good pick, and I don't mind him. Anthony Gordon, he was only played 30 minutes against Brentford, which is highly concerning. I'm not sure if he was injured or if he just came off the bench. Maybe he just came off the bench in this game. I think he did come off the bench in this game because there's no yellow flag or anything. But look, Newcastle's run is very nice, and you would expect him, the fact that they're going back to 1 game a week, that he will be playing from the start against Leicester. And I think Leicester are going to concede goals, let's be honest, at the tune. So, look, he does become a relatively good option. Shade. Now, Brentford's attacking run, like, he only played 17 minutes again here after he started, obviously. But, like, he's now got 4 goals, 2 assists in the last 3 weeks. Now, his minutes are a very big risk, but at 5.1 mil, if you want a cheap enabler on your bench, he is a good man to have a look at. 0.6% ownership. There's quite a little bit there to like. So, but if you really want a budget enabler, it's Enzo Fernandez, 4.9 mil. The dude's owned by 4.4%. He's now returned in his last 5 weeks. He's now got 3 assists, 3 goals in his last 5 weeks. I think he's the player. You know, he's the positions he's taken up for Chelsea are just so good at the moment. He's now up to 0.15 expected goals per 90, 0.22 expected assists per 90. That is something you just got to get around. And like that is a move that I'm potentially thinking of making. Ahmad as well. He got another assist on the weekend and he had an expected goal of 0.34. Like he could have had more against Nottingham Forest. It was a little bit frustrating for his owners. And at 5.1, he's still dirt cheap, 7% ownership now. The Man City game, I wouldn't be too worried about that. They do concede goals. And then it's a very nice run for Man United. Other than that Liverpool away game, they're looking good for a substantial period of time. And I think Ahmad's going to be locked on and nailed in that spot under Ruben Amorim. So look, I really like him as a differential. There's a lot to like there. Souček, he scored against Wolves. Now, he has been good. When West Ham win, Souček is normally involved and normally gets a goal. 4.9 mil. He's again another really easy. You're not going to need all your West Ham spots. So if you want that budget enabler, Thomas Souček, 4.9 mil, he's going to get you returns, and especially against the weaker team. So look, keep that in mind. I don't mind him as just that budget enabler sitting as your fifth man in the midfield. So look, there's definitely nothing wrong with that at all. So I think that's definitely something you want to keep in mind moving forward, for sure. So then, obviously, the last two players I do want to talk about. Martin Odegaard is still looking really good. And Damsgaard there as well. As I said about the 5 million option, 1.4% ownership. Brentford do have a harder run of fixtures coming up. He did start on the bench, probably due to rotation against Newcastle, but he'll probably come back in against Chelsea. He has been super good. And at 5 mil, here's another potential option moving forward. Now, Martin Odegaard, it's hard. He makes this video because of the fact that he has been super good. Another 0.18 expected assists against Fulham. They've got a very nice run of fixtures for the next 3 weeks. I do expect him to return in probably the next 3 games. It's just a matter of whether you want to go double Arsenal attack or you want to go double Arsenal defence. That's what it comes down to pretty much. All right, moving on to the forward line now. This is the last little bit of the video. I'm going to try and wrap this up pretty quick. Now, Haaland is down to 42.6% ownership. I can't believe I'm saying that. He's due to fall in price to 14.9. He's going to drop below his starting price at the season. He finally scored against Crystal Palace, which means that hopefully that means his confidence is going to come up. And he's playing one of his favourite teams to play against, Manchester United up next. He could go big. But again, realistically, the price he's going to cost you makes him a bit of an avoid, I think, potentially for the rest of the season or until like game week 28. I mean, you can bring him in for game week 18 and play him for like the next 5 weeks and then transfer him out again. But look, I think the game has moved past the fact that you're paying 15 mil for him. That's what it comes down to. But he is becoming a very nice differential, particularly with effective ownership. Now, the reason why he's still owned by 40% of the comp is because people may put him in their team at the start of the season and they haven't played him ever since. So just keep that in mind. Van Linson, he was a bit disappointing against Ipswich, to be fair. Only 0.15 expected goal involvement for the game. So that was disappointing. But look, he has got some nice fixtures coming up. West Ham at home do concede goals. Palace at home, Everton at home. Like, the next 5 weeks do look really nice for him, and he is a really nice option. At only 4.6% ownership, he is really still a quite nice differential. Now, heaps of people have been buying Isaac back. Like me, I've had him. I kept him through the bad times and I kept him through the good. So I bought him in game week 12, suffered the West Ham and Crystal Palace games, and then I've rode the beauty of the last 19 points in the last 2 weeks. And lots of people are trying to get him back into their teams. Yeah. What more is there to say? He's got a very nice run of fixtures. Now, Jamie Vardy has dominated since Rue van Nistelrooy has come in. He's now got 3. He's now returned in the last 3 game weeks. 0.85 expected goal involvement against Brighton. He literally dragged them back into the team with his goal and assist in the dying embers. Now, he's got Newcastle away this week, and Newcastle, defensively, they should be keeping Leicester out, but I wouldn't put any money on it. And then they've got Wolves at home in 17. So the Vardy party is going to continue on for at least the next 2 weeks. And at 5.5 mil, 8.2% ownership, if he's fit, he's definitely an option. Now, Cunha, I'm surprised lots of people are still buying him because he's been poor. Wissa is unfortunate not to have made this video in general. 10.1% ownership. He's still putting up really good numbers, even though he's playing against the harder teams. I expect Wissa to continue to output some goal involvement and get some returns. So look, he's still an option at 6.2 mil. He's just dirt cheap, and I quite like that about him, and that's something that you need to keep in mind moving forward. Now, Raul Jimenez obviously scored, but reality, I want to talk about Havertz. He got the assist against Fulham. He does have a very nice run of fixtures. If you aren't going Arsenal defence, well, I keep saying Liverpool. I'm just thinking about them. Double Arsenal attack looks really good here. Everton, Palace, Ipswich. There is returns there. 7.9 mil. He's a cheaper attacker compared to Jackson and Isaac and Watkins. 10.1% ownership. It's hard not to recommend him, especially with that run of fixtures right in front of you. Dominic Solanke, I just want to say that 8.7% of the comp shouldn't own him. That's all I want to say. I would not be recommending him at all. Sorry, but no, can't be done. Then obviously down here, Cody Gakpo and Nunez make this video because of the fact that Liverpool are going to have that double game week in the foreseeable future. And I think Cody Gakpo is going to be starting more games than not. And I really like the run of fixtures here. So look, it's hard not to recommend him. Cody Gakpo I've got way in front of Darwin Nunez, but they literally both cost the same amount of price, and it's just who you think is going to be starting more. I would argue it's going to be Cody Gakpo, but maybe it is Nunez. You guys just have to make up your decision yourself. I mean, the expected goal involvement actually favours Nunez, I think, by quite a distance. The only problem is he's just a bad finisher. Like, he's just a bad finisher. Cody Gakpo's a much better finisher, as far as I'm concerned. Now, Rasmus Højlund, he obviously started against Arsenal. He started again against Nottingham Forest and got a goal. His expected goal involvement as well is getting higher. So, look, he could be an option. It's just a matter of whether he continues to start under Ruben Amorim. And I think that we saw him start against Arsenal and then back it up 3 days later against Nottingham Forest. Makes me think that he is going to be that starting number 9, which makes him a really good differential. 6.9 mil, 1.4% ownership. Again, he's a slightly cheaper option that could be someone that helps you, enable you to get to like the double Liverpool, double Arsenal defence. So look, those are my differentials for this week. I don't think I've missed anyone out on the list I was going to cover. I really like that. As I said, I'm top 18,500, whatever it was. Believe it, I actually have been calling most of these differentials well. I do normally put them in my team as well. As you can see there, a lot of the players I have talked about that are differentials are in my team. There is likelihood that Enzo Fernandez probably comes in and potentially one of those Liverpool defenders will come into my team as well. I really want to make sure I've got one of each of those teams because a lot of people are doing doubling up and I'd rather at least have one covered that potential moving forward. All right, that's been the differentials of Game Week 16. Make sure you join me back for a shorter video the next couple of days for my wildcard draft and transfer chips, and then I'll have the team selection out on Friday before I travel to the UK to go and watch the football live over the Christmas period. That's been the D Unit Fantasy Premier League. Let's see you tomorrow.